statuses to organize my progress exactly how I want. I like to add the action items field so AI can show me the next steps. I had my teammates as watchers.
Hello, high-level listeners. Welcome back to another Monday vocabulary podcast here on High Level Listening. This is our podcast where we help you understand side-by-side American and British English through fun English conversations and real-life language with Mark, our British English teacher, and me, Kat, from the United States.
Yes, that's right. Welcome back, everybody. Today's episode, we will be talking about something we all deal with every single day, and that's commuting to work. That is your journey to the workplace, your commute. So last episode, we talked about a difficult, stressful morning, and we'll continue that theme on the commute today as well.
And as always, I'll go first with my American version of sharing my morning commute. Since most Americans drive their cars to work, and then Mark will share his British one, using more of the public transportation and the train. After that, we'll break down all the best vocabulary, phrases, and grammar that you can use to talk about your own commute and traveling to work in naturally spoken English.
Yes, and like always, we've got some extra bonus materials for you. If you join us on YouTube as a High Level Listening member, you can support us and you can get a PDF transcript of this episode. There is a new level if you join us as a High Level Listening vocabulary member. That one comes with the picture dictionary and the study guides and the study pack for all the episodes of Season 4 as well. You can see the links of how to join those memberships below.
And if you want to support us even more, come visit us on our High Level Listening store on PayHip. We've already got 60 study guides ready and waiting for you to buy as a big bundle.
Okay, so let's get started with today's script. Kat will read her script first. I'll ask, how was your commute to work this morning? Her script first. I'll ask, how was your commute to work this morning?
So this morning wasn't perfect, but it could have been worse. I left the house a little late and sure enough, traffic on the but it could have been worse. I left the house a little late and sure enough, traffic on the freeway was already bumper to bumper. Luckily, I had my coffee and some good music playing, so I just rolled with it. There was some construction, so I tried to detour through the side streets. Not my best idea. I hit every red light. Seriously, every single one. But somehow I still made it on time. I rushed in with my bag and coffee, acting like I had everything under control. Fake it till you make it, right?
Right. So I'm amazed you made it on time. That's pretty impressive,
I know.
considering
I really
what happened.
couldn't believe it. So I'm going to ask Mark the same question. How was your commute to work this morning?
Right. So my commute this morning wasn't a total disaster, but it definitely wasn't smooth sailing either. I actually got to the station with enough time to pop into the cafe, so that was a promising start. But then when the train arrived, it was absolutely heaving. I managed to squeeze on and just had to wedge myself between all the other commuters. The trains are hit and miss at the best of times, so I shouldn't have really been surprised that we just ground to a halt about halfway there. No reason given, obviously. Eventually we pulled in and I rocked up to work about a quarter of an hour late, which is not too bad, all things considered. So yes, as we mentioned, we're continuing the theme of not perfect mornings and not perfect commutes. Don't worry if you didn't catch everything from that first reading. We're about to go through the scripts one more time, so we'll explain and we'll repeat all the best vocabulary and phrases so you can talk about your own commutes in high-level English as well. So, Kat, back to your side, back to the beginning. How was your commute this morning?
So this morning wasn't perfect, but it could have been worse. Okay. This is kind of an interesting way that Americans like to stay positive. Yeah, it wasn't great. I'm not going to say it was bad. I wouldn't say that. I wouldn't say, oh, this morning was bad. I it just doesn't feel comfortable to be saying to my colleagues or people, things like that. Sounds too negative. So this morning wasn't perfect. Yeah, this morning wasn't great. Yeah, it wasn't my favorite. We tend to use these phrases to make it sound better than it was. So this morning wasn't perfect, but it could have been worse. It could have been worse. So we actually have 3 words there. Could have been. And I'm going to shove these two together and say coulda. It coulda been worse. Yeah, it could have been worse. It could have been worse. This is kind of a way to say, yes, something bad happened. There's always worse things that could happen. It's kind of a way to, again, sound more positive. There could have been an accident, and maybe I could have been very, very late, or someone could have been sick. I'm thinking about all the possibilities. So it could have been worse.
Right. You're thinking of all the things that didn't happen, but could have happened that would have been worse.
It could have. It could have happened. It could have happened.
Wait, so all the AI editing I learned before was pointless? With Dreaming a Sea Dance 2.0, even beginners can easily create high-quality...
So what about you, Mark? How was your commute this morning?
Right. So my commute this morning wasn't a total disaster, but it definitely wasn't smooth sailing either. Okay, I'm going to wave my own flag on my very first word. Right. Right. I think British people love to use this word before they're going to tell you a story. Right, so here's what we need to do today. Or, right, here's what happened yesterday. There's also a joke that British people cannot stand up from a chair without saying, right, and then they stand up. So we use this at the beginning of a story and also at the end. But anyway, you'll hear this more often in the UK. Right, so my commute this morning wasn't a total disaster. I'm doing the same thing as Kat. I'm not going to say this morning was bad, terrible, awful, because that sounds too strong. It wasn't a total disaster. Well, often in this episode, you'll hear a few combinations of phrases. Total and disaster really often go together, like a complete mess, a total nightmare, a total disaster. You'll hear this couple quite a lot. So it wasn't a total disaster, but it definitely wasn't smooth sailing either. Smooth sailing is kind of an expression, especially when you have to travel or make plans. Smooth sailing means everything goes perfectly. There's no delays, there's no obstacles, there's no problems. It's smooth sailing from start to finish. You want smooth sailing, but it wasn't smooth sailing either. So it wasn't a total disaster. It wasn't smooth sailing. It was something in the middle. So it was good and bad at the same time. Anyway, so yours was not perfect. What happened on your commute? Were you late?
Well, I left the house a little late, and sure enough, traffic on the freeway was already bumper to bumper. So I want you to hear the way that I said, I left the house a little late. A little late. So that TT in the middle, we're going to change those T's into a D sound. Okay, that's very American. So I left the house a little late. I left the house a little late. And sure enough, okay, meaning, well, okay, I knew this would happen. Sure enough, as I expected, as I suspected, traffic on the freeway was already bumper to bumper. Normally, Americans will try to leave the house a little bit earlier than they need to just to avoid a little traffic, especially in the big cities. I'm from Houston. You either leave 20 minutes early or 45 minutes late because otherwise you're stuck in this traffic, right? So I left the house a little late, and sure enough, traffic on the freeway was already bumper to bumper. So we've got some good commute words: traffic, freeway, especially the freeway, and bumper to bumper. Okay, what is so American about that, Mark?
Just freeway.
Freeway.
In the UK, it's motorway. Traffic on
Motorway.
the motorway.
I know. I can't even say it right. I say motorway, and you say motorway.
Motorway.
So traffic is just the movement of cars. Usually say there was a little bit of traffic, there was a lot of traffic, there was some traffic. Traffic is just the movement of cars. So a little bit or a lot. Traffic on the freeway. Some people call it the freeway. Some people call it the highway. Both of those are the same. So traffic on the freeway was already bumper to bumper. Bumper to bumper. So a bumper is the plastic part on the very front of your car. Sometimes if you hit somebody, you hit your bumper onto their bumper. Well, we call it bumper to bumper traffic because we are all so close to each other. From an angle, it looks like we are basically touching. There are so many cars on the road. There's so much traffic that we are bumper to bumper. So this is a good way of saying very heavy traffic.
Just say, do you say this phrase in the US? If cars are very close together in a line, they're nose to tail. Traffic was nose to tail. Do you say that?
No, probably not. No, I think that sounds way more British.
Sure. It's the same meaning. Yep. Well, the cars are very close together. Nose to tail, all the way down the motorway.
Nose to tail. That sounds like a dog at a dog park.
Yeah. Right. Yeah.
So what happened to you on your commute, Mark? Were you late?
I actually got to the station with enough time to pop into the cafe. So it was a promising start. So I got to the station with enough time. So I had time to pop into the cafe. There we go. We've used this word lots of times, and it's always on the British side. If you pop into a place, you quickly visit. You go in maybe 5 minutes and then come out. It only takes 4 or 5 minutes to order a coffee, so you can pop into the cafe. You might pop into the bank and quickly do something. Pop into the shop and quickly buy something. When you go there quickly, you pop into. So I don't have a lot of time until my train arrives. So I have to pop into the cafe, take 2 or 3 minutes, and then go back to the platform. So yeah, I got to the station with enough time to pop into the cafe. So that was a promising start. So that's another one of our combinations. Earlier, we had a total disaster. Now we've got a promising start. Good start is also possible. A promising start means at the beginning, it looked good. The start was good, so I hope the rest of the journey was smooth sailing. So it was a promising start. You'll also hear this in sports. If your team scores a goal early in the match, you're like, okay, yes, this is a promising start. The rest of it should go well too. So I had a promising start, so the rest of my commute should go well too. But we'll see what happens later.
I'm on the edge of my seat.
I know. Okay, so back to the American side. I know that most Americans do drive to work. What's it like?
You know that big presentation you have to finish? Well, it's not going to write itself.
In the car.
Well, luckily I had my coffee and some good music playing, so I just rolled with it. Now, remember, I was a bit late. I got onto the freeway, and sure enough, there was bumper-to-bumper traffic. But luckily, or thankfully, I had my coffee and some good music playing, so I just rolled with it. This is kind of a play on words, because when you roll with something, you are literally rolling in your car, bumper to bumper, you're rolling. But if you just roll with something, you go with it. You just accept it. You are fine. I'm not going to get angry about it. I'm not going to get upset about it. I'm just going to roll with it. Okay, so it is kind of a play on words because I'm literally rolling my car down the road slowly in this bumper to bumper traffic, but I'm just rolling with it. Honestly, you got your coffee, you got your music playing, so I'm good to go. I just rolled with it.
Right. It is what it is. The universe decided I'm going to be late for work today.
I mean, I do this every single day. Commute in the morning, commute back, drive in the morning, drive in the afternoon. You just have to accept it. All right. So, Mark, You said it was a promising start to the morning. You grabbed your coffee. Then what happened?
Then, when the train arrived, it was absolutely heaving. I managed to squeeze on and just had to wedge myself between all the other commuters. So this is when the problem started. When the train arrived, it was absolutely heaving. I love this word. I think it's quite a British word.
I would agree.
It means very,
Yes.
very packed, very full. The train was heaving. It's not just trains or vehicles. Anywhere could be heaving. The supermarket was heaving on the weekends. Or, the airport was heaving because it's the summer holidays. If somewhere is very full of people, it is heaving. Absolutely heaving is a way to make it even stronger. So when the train arrived, it was absolutely heaving. It was full of people. I managed to squeeze on. So it's a very full train. There's not a lot of space. If I can get into a small space, I can squeeze on. Squeeze on because you go on the train or get on the train. So I managed to squeeze on. If you were like in a taxi, you would squeeze in. But because it's a train, squeeze on. And I just had to wedge myself between all the other commuters. So wedge is a little bit closer to squeeze. Squeeze is go into a small space. Wedge is maybe I had to like turn or like move my body a certain way.
I also think when you
fit.
wedge, you're pushing other people. Like you can squeeze and just like go into a corner, but if you have to wedge yourself, I feel like you're making other people move for you a bit. Like, excuse me, pardon me, excuse me, pardon me.
Use my shoulders a bit to sort of push them out the way. And when I'm wedged in, I'm also stuck. There's like pressure on this side and pressure on this side, and now I can't move anymore. I'm kind of stuck. I wedged myself. But maybe that's nice when the train is moving or shaking. I won't fall over because now I can lean on the other people.
So you're touching other people. Oh, no, I hate it. That's why I'm in my car by myself. Americans, we just really need our
mind.
We just need our
comprehend,
bubbles. We need our personal bubbles here.
Right, your coffee and your music. Yeah, I know. So I wedged myself between all the other commuters. Commuters are the people commuting to work. If you are traveling to work, you are a commuter, especially if you do it every day. So yes, I had to wedge myself between all the other commuters. All right, back to your side. Were there any other problems or hiccups along the way?
Now, there was some construction, so I tried to detour through the side streets, which honestly was not my best idea. So sometimes when there's construction or there's traffic, your GPS, your Google Maps might try to direct you through a detour. And a detour is when you try to go around the traffic. You try to go around the construction. So there was some construction. Now, Mark will use a different word here. Most times, as an American, I would say construction. That's when people are working on the road. Maybe there was a problem and they're removing the problem, or they're building something. This is all construction. And we don't use any S on it. But Mark, what's the word that you would probably use?
Yeah, the British version is roadworks.
Roadworks with an S.
With an S.
Yeah.
So it's plural too. There were some roadworks.
Oh, that's true. That's true. So then there was some construction. There was lots of construction. Okay, that's a good point too. I didn't even think about that.
Ramadan is prayer, and prayer begins with water. But for some families, water is a daily journey, something that must be found, carried. When water is close, everything changes. And when it keeps flowing, so does the impact. Your support brings water closer to home, not just for today, but for years. Be the reason it flows.
So I tried to detour, go around. I tried to avoid the construction. I tried to detour through the side streets. Now remember, I'm on the freeway. I'm on the highway. I'm trying to go down the main road, the big road. But I went through some side streets, these little streets that hopefully don't have any construction, but this was not my best idea. And I'll tell you why in a second.
Find out. Stick around and find out why.
Stick around for more.
Yeah.
So, Mark, did anything else happen on the way? It sounds like you got kind of wedged between some commuters, and then what happened?
Well, the trains are hit and miss at the best of times, so I shouldn't have really been surprised that we just ground to a halt about halfway there. No reason given, obviously.
And you're just stuck between all these people in the middle of rush hour?
On the train. Yes. So the first problem is that trains are hit and miss. Hit means good, miss is bad. But when something is unreliable or inconsistent, we'll use hit and miss. It's hit and miss. It's hit and miss. So even if you're talking about a restaurant, say the food's hit and miss. Like sometimes I go in and it's great. Sometimes it's not good. Or a certain director, you're like, his movies are hit and miss. Some of them are good, some of them are bad. You never know. And we can say the same thing about British trains. Sometimes they're on time and it's perfect. Other times they are delayed or just cancelled. So the trains are hit and miss at the best of times, meaning they are usually hit and miss, or the best you can get is hit and miss. It's never close to perfect. And I shouldn't have really been surprised. I shouldn't have really been surprised. At the time when I was on the train and we stopped, I went, oh, what? I was surprised. But thinking about it now, that was a mistake. I shouldn't have been surprised back then because the trains are hit and miss. I should have remembered that. I should have known that we would stop. I used a specific phrase to say the train stopped. We just ground to a halt. When we're talking about vehicles,
I can feel that.
big
I
ones.
can feel that grinding to a halt.
Right? You can think of the metal wheels on the metal track just kind of crunching and slowly stopping. Like there's a problem with the machine, there's a problem with the vehicle. And it's that feeling also where you get slower and slower and slower, and you realize you're going to be late for work and you're not going to be on time. So yeah, if your journey ground to a halt, that means something stopped suddenly, but it's mostly used with vehicles stopping. No reason given, obviously, as in they didn't explain why we stopped. That's also a part of British train service. You just stop sometimes and no one tells you why. Okay, back to your side, Kat. Did you end up avoiding all the construction in the end?
Honestly, I tried to take a little detour on the side streets, but I hit every red light. Seriously, every single one. So we use an interesting verb here. We say, I hit a red light. I don't mean that my car ran into it. I mean that I was hoping to go through the green light. So we have green light, yellow light, red light. So you want to hit every green light, right? Oh, we got a green light. Let's go. Oh, we hit another green light. Let's go. But we actually hit every single red light. That means that it's kind of a chance, right? It's up to luck. So I hit every red light. Seriously, every single one. Every single one. Every red light. Yeah, I hit every single one.
It sounds more focused on the time that you lost. When you say, I hit a red light, it's like, oh no, I lost 2 minutes because of that. It feels like that phrase is focused on how slow and annoying it was.
Yeah. But I would also say like I hit every green light, meaning I just I came up to it and then unlocked the green light.
I saved so much time. Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, thank goodness.
My wife said, if you win, we'll fly to Asia. If I win, we'll fly to Paris. I bet you won't get toned with just Tai Chi walking.
All right. So, Mark, in the end, how late were you?
Eventually, we pulled in and I rocked up to work a quarter of an hour late, which is not too bad, all things considered. So we've got some good phrasal verbs. Eventually, like after some time, we pulled in. That's me and all the commuters on our train. The train pulled in. That means it arrived at the platform or arrived at the final destination. We pulled in and I rocked up to work.
I
So the
really
train
feel like
pulled in.
you're
Yeah.
rocking. You're just rocking.
Right.
That is so British though.
Right. So it's a very casual way to say I arrived, I rocked up. And so I knew the train made me late. And to be honest, in the UK, because public transportation can be quite unreliable, if you are 10 or 15 minutes late, it's not a huge deal. Your boss and your colleagues will understand that delays and things can happen. So I didn't run from the train because maybe some of my colleagues were on the same train. I rocked up to work a quarter of an hour late. A quarter of an hour is 15 minutes. Quarter of an hour is 15. Half an hour is 30 minutes. 3/4 of an hour is 45 minutes. But I was only a quarter of an hour late, which is not too bad, all things considered. All things considered means when you think about, I got into a heaving train, then we had a delay, we ground to a halt, 15 minutes late after all that, all things considered.
That's not too bad.
Not too bad.
That's not too bad.
Yeah. Anyway, and last part on your side, how late were you? Or were you even late?
Somehow I still made it on time. I rushed in with my bag and my coffee, acting like I had everything under control. Not that I was hitting every red light and yelling at every single red light as I hit it coming up to work. But somehow I still made it. I still made it on time. So if you make it, you arrive and you succeed in arriving. I made it. Oh gosh, I'm so glad. Oh, thank goodness, because I was trying, I was working hard. I was a little late and I was working really hard. Oh, I made it. I was successful at arriving. We made it. We finally made it. Okay, so I still made it on time. I still made it on time, which means I arrived successfully at the correct time. I still made it on time. I rushed in with my bag and coffee. I mean, you know, I'm American. I need my coffee, right? So I rushed in. So why are we using in? Probably in the doors, into my office, into the building. I rushed in with my bag and coffee. I'm fine. Acting like I had everything under control.
Right.
Everything's fine. Everything's under control. I'm very organized. I was not rushing. So remember, rushing is to move very quickly, right? So, okay, here's my bag. Here's my stuff. Okay, all right. And then I acted like I had everything under control. That means I don't really have everything under control, but I look like it. I'm acting like it. I seem like it. So I acted like I had everything under control and I actually made it on time.
Nice. It's like
So
when the
surprising.
elevator doors open, you're just like perfectly calm looking. But when the doors are closed, you're like straightening your hair,
Oh my
adjusting
gosh.
your clothes. Like
Once I
drinking
close my
water.
office door. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. You're like,
Now that you can understand all of the vocabulary, let's hear those scripts once more. So this morning wasn't perfect, but it could have been worse. I left the house a little late, and sure enough, traffic on the freeway was already bumper to bumper. Luckily, I had my coffee and some good music playing, so I just rolled with it. There was some construction, so I tried to detour through the side streets. Not my best idea. I hit every red light. Seriously, every single one. But somehow I still made it on time. I rushed in with my bag and coffee, acting like I had everything under control.
And here's my script one more time. Right, so my commute this morning wasn't a total disaster, but it definitely wasn't smooth sailing either. I actually got to the station with enough time to pop into the cafe, so that was a promising start. But then when the train arrived, it was absolutely heaving. I managed to squeeze on and just had to wedge myself between all the other commuters. The trains are hit and miss at the best of times, so I shouldn't have really been surprised that we just ground to a halt about halfway there. No reason given, obviously. Eventually, we pulled in and I rocked up to work a quarter of an hour late, which is not too bad, all things considered.
All right, there you go, everybody. Now it's your turn. Tell us about your commute. Was it smooth, stressful? Do you walk? Do you drive? Do you ride the train? Do you take the bus? Let us know in the comments below. Tell us about your commute. Was it smooth, stressful? Do you walk? Do you drive? Do you ride the train? Do you take the bus? Let us know in the comments below. We love to hear from you guys, and we read and reply to every single comment. So this is a great chance for you to practice your English with us.
Yeah, see if you can write a short comment using some of the phrases from the episode today, like the train was heaving yesterday, or I usually hit every red light when I drive to work, something like that.
And once again, if you want to go deeper, grab the Season 4 study pack. There you'll get the full